here's Brody Brazil.
There's no question in my mind that the evolution of pitch framing has definitely changed Major League Baseball across the last decade, but I suppose the bigger question I'll eventually ask in this video is pitch framing ethical? I mean, it's not cheating, it's not against the rules, but if you're a catcher consistently trying to, trick the umpire by stabbing at a baseball, by pushing it back into the strike zone, even though you know it was not while crossing the plate, is that a fair thing to do? Again, not a legal thing to do. It's not against the rules right now, but is that a fair thing to do? I've been thinking about this for a while, but the inspiration for this video was from a tweet I saw by Ivan Quackenbush, who I believe played college baseball, also represented Great Britain as a catcher in the World Baseball Classic, and is now instructing baseball. But look at the side-by-side here that Ivan put together. Catchers like Salvi Perez, who have been in baseball for the past decade, and how their framing in 2015 looked versus how it's looking here in 2025. And maybe what I should do for like Hedges is I'll draw, similar strike zone here. You can see the amount of push there. Watch the difference. A lot more push on the left versus little pushes here on the right. JT Realmuto, same thing. Look at that swipe back up into the zone. It existed maybe to a certain degree in 2015. It was a quick up. But I mean, look at Salvi Perez. They're literally lifting that pitch up. And there is kind of a difference between framing versus pulling, which I'll get into in just a second. But I just really want this to soak in. I realize it may have looped at least once already. I really want this to soak in. We're not talking about slight movements anymore. We're talking about drastic movements to try and put that ball back in the center of the strike zone. I mean, sometimes we're low by like 6, 7, 8 inches and we're pushing it back to be center. Like that's just not the way it's going. Look at Salvi Perez. What a legend. Anyway, so I'll move on here to ask kind of the question of this video. Is pitch framing and the magnitude of pitch framing, is that just baseball here in 2025? Should we just accept that and say, well, it's a thing, and if a catcher does that, every single pitch of the game, every single ball that's a ball or even a strike that's on the edge, is that okay to do every single pitch here in 2025? Or is it cheating or trying to cheat or trying to be deceitful to some degree? I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you that baseball is so aware of pitch framing. This is from Baseball Savant. Like, this is an actual Major League Baseball product that's on their website, baseballsavant.mlb.com. This is a stat called catcher framing runs. What you're seeing here on the top, these are all the best pitch framing catchers right now in Major League Baseball, and I hate to say it, but these are the worst. In terms of catcher framing runs, what does that mean? Every ball that turned into a strike or every pitch that was on the border turned into a strike goes to about 0.125 runs. There's an equation for that. So if you save enough balls that turn into strikes, you save that many runs in terms of catcher framing runs. And you can see somebody here like Patrick Bailey of the San Francisco Giants. Baseball Savant says that his team, the Giants, are 3 runs better this year. They've saved 3 runs simply because of Patrick Bailey's pitch framing. Now think about 1-run games. What if on one given day that 1 run was a difference and that turns into a win? Pitch framing turns into single wins, maybe multiple wins over the course of 162 games. It not only breaks it down by how many runs they've either saved or, look at this, runs that some catchers have cost their team because they weren't pitch framing well. I mean, that's like Joey Bart. Now, not to knock on the former Pirate here, the former Giant now turned Pirate, but Joey Bart has cost Pittsburgh, this stat says, 2 runs this year because of his lack of pitch framing. And you can see blue obviously is bad versus red is in the hot zone, but they literally have all the zones here from top left corner of the strike zone or out of the strike zone, top above the strike zone, top right above the strike zone, left of the zone, right of the zone, bottom low of the zone, bottom left of the zone, bottom of the zone outside it, and bottom right outside the strike zone. So they're literally naming the zones and where some of these catchers are really good. High and inside, they'll bring it back down. They're really good at that. Or they're really good at bringing it down low back into the center of the zone. That's how deep we are into this. This is not a side thing that people are doing as a secret way. This is like baseball technique that's being taught, that's being expected, that's widely accepted among catchers in baseball. Let's talk about the technique. And again, there's 2 different things here. Framing is one thing. If a pitch is right down the middle and a catcher spots it and holds it and lets the umpire see it, that's framing, right? That's always been a thing. Framing goes back many decades. They want the pitcher to know, hey, you hit your spot, and they want the umpire behind the catcher's back to know that guy just threw a perfect strike or nailed a perfect pitch, like right on the outside, right on the black of the plate. That's good pitch framing. Pulling is clearly when it's ball that was a ball, now it's a strike. Outside back to the center, high back down low. That's pulling. And you'd have to think that a really good umpire can see the hand movement alone and say, wait, that catcher's arm moved there. They pushed, they stabbed at that baseball quite a bit. So again, widely taught to catchers, slow body movement. If you're doing this right, you don't want to be jerking your body all around. You're giving it away to the umpire that you're having to adjust to a pitch that wasn't where you wanted it or expected it. Slow body movement, quick hand movement. There's also, I think, good framing can be just twisting the hand, right? Sometimes if you go out here, let me do this with the full screen. If you go out here with the elbow out, that looks more like a ball, right? But if you just twist it in here or twist it this way, that might look more of a strike. So it's lesser body movement and quick hand movement, right? And the elbow being part of your body here to sell a pitch more to the umpire. Twisting versus stabbing, definitely a thing. Stabbing and pulling kind of along the same lines. To catch the ball out front of the body is also important. It just gives the umpire a very clear view, right? So like when you're pitch framing, whether it's a strike to begin with or whether it was out of the zone, you're trying to bring it back in, you will notice catchers push their hands farther out so that they make sure the umpire peeking over their shoulder gets a really good view at it. The goals here, obviously, more strikes, the better count for a pitcher, no wasted pitches, right? If you're only going to throw 102 pitches on a day, and that's being generous, you want more strikes than balls. You want more pitchers' counts. You want more outs recorded. You want that pitcher to last longer. From the catcher's perspective, though, you want to make sure that the strikes that should be strikes are actually called strikes. That's a reason to do pitch framing. You also want to try and best present pitches that are, on the edges of the strike zone. You want to best present them as potentially being strikes. And you know what? You're going to go fishing once in a while on pitches that clearly miss the strike zone because umpires are human. And sometimes they will take the bait. It is that simple. Catchers go fishing on pitch framing just to see what does it hurt if I move my hand like this? It doesn't. It's worth a shot, and it's not against the rules. They're going to keep doing it. Deeper level thoughts on pitch framing, it's relatively new. We've only seen this hardcore now for about 10 years. And my question is, what really happens here when balls and strikes, like starting next year with that Hawkeye system, when they could be challenged? And a catcher did this, and the batter or maybe somebody from the dugout's like, you should challenge that, but only the batter can do the challenge from the offensive, the hitting team at that time. What happens when a pitch is challenged that was framed well as a strike and the umpire bought it? The batter's like, nope, sorry. Pitch framing is going to get drastically exposed as soon as balls and strikes can be challenged. Now, again, you're limited to the amount of challenges you get, so it's only going to probably happen in like high leverage situations, either a ball 4 or a strike 3 that really matters or counts. But the point is that, challenging pitches is going to change pitch framing. Are we trying to reward pitchers here and catchers for that matter and teams by tricking umpires? Again, this all feels like it's a trick. It's like a magic trick. It's the sleight of hand. It just doesn't feel like great sportsmanship. And maybe to do it once in a while, but not all the time. It kind of does look, dare I say desperate, dare I say pathetic to frame a ball, a pitch that was almost in the dirt, and literally try and bring it back up here, pitch after pitch. The pitcher missed. It was a ball. It feels desperate. And our good umpires, I said here, are umpires actually influenced by framing? Our good umpires are the best umpires actually influenced by this. You'd hope not so much, but they're human and you never know. So here are my opinions on this. It's not against any specific rules right now. So what can I say? Maybe I don't like it, but it's perfectly legal. And if everybody else is doing it and getting the advantage of it, you and your team should probably be doing it too. It works enough for enough smart baseball minds to keep it around in the game. Like, we're all aware of this. If I'm doing a video on it, you know that GMs, managers, pitching coaches, hitting coaches, everybody across the league, they're aware of this and they don't mind. So they would do something about it if it were urgent. If we're aware of who is framing the most, right? Like, I mean, I just showed you that graph of the best players, the best catchers in baseball for framing pitches. If I'm aware of that, if MLB is pumping out and distributing that information, don't you think that umpires might be looking up that info too on a game-to-game basis? Let's see, who are my 2 catchers today? All right, this catcher is going to probably try and pitch frame me a lot. They're going to be out to trick me a little bit. Versus person on the other team, they don't do it as much, or they're not as good at it. It's not as frequent for them. So again, if we're aware of this, there's no secrets here. This is all out in the open. Umpires are also on the same page too. So it's not like it's catching any of them by surprise. It just does seem to get annoying if attempted all the time. Once in a while, pitch really close, little push, no problem. It's the big swipes and what you just saw in that side-by-side video there. It's like, are you for real when you're doing that? I don't know. It's not going away. It might be altered by ball and strike challenges, the automated ball and strike system, but I don't know. I didn't mind it at first. I feel like I'm a little bit fatigued on it by now. But let me know what you think about pitch framing in Major League Baseball down in the comments section. Am I right? Am I wrong? Did I swing and miss on this? Also, thumbs up down below while you're there helps me, this video, and this channel. And one more request, go down to the very bottom of this video and the screen right now. It's probably somewhere down there or maybe down there. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way I can definitely see you back here next time.